Hello, back for another episode of The Summer Hikaru Died, episode 6 now. Last episode we had the weird hair thing, ghost thing, apparition thing that was scaring Yoshiki's sister, and then obviously we got Hikaru in to come deal with it, and he didn't end up dealing with it. I'm pretty sure it got away. Had some introspective stuff happening while it took over Yoshiki's body. Those brain, almost the villagers almost being interpreted as these tower of brains, and the voices coming out. It was bizarre, weird, straight, crazy stuff. Really cool visuals. Though, really cool depiction of that whole scene and that whole dream escape shit going on. Very cool. Also had Yoshiki exploring Hikaru's body a little bit more, and Hikaru responding in a strange way. I feel like Hikaru's kind of getting... I'm not sure, I'm kind of waiting for him to do something bad at this point. I know a couple of episodes ago we had him kind of force himself onto Yoshiki like he did, and they had their whole resolution, their Yoshi kind of accepting the status quo and what is, and kind of having taken responsibility for him in some way. But I'm kind of expecting him to start causing more trouble outside of Yoshiki's scope, and whether Yoshiki ends up finding out or whatever, seeing how that kind of comes into play. Also the detective as well is starting to make moves as well. He is now very much here and aware that someone is here. Something is here, and he's very much present now. So anything that Hikaru does, if he is going to start acting badly, it's not looking good for him. So yeah, let's just get into this. This is episode 6. Yeah, let's just go. Pretty fitting, eh? Hmm.
そしたら記憶も見た目も全く同じ男が別に生まれて、そいつは自分が死んだ男と別人やって気づかんで家に帰ったって。
Pretty unsubtle, all this. Pretty on the nose. I do like it when stories do this though. Have the story within a story that makes people think and contemplate what's going on. And...
別人とは言い切れやんな。やって人間って新陳代謝しとるし、数年前と同じ細胞やないもんさ。実質それと同じやない？
確かにな。でも本当の男は沼の中で死んでいっとるんよ。
したらもう別人やろ。やって一瞬でも二人存在しとるやん。
あ、確かに。
Maybe Hikaru's in that split second.
でも傍から見たらずっと同じ一人やん。結局他人なんて
It's a really cool track.
しか判断できやんし。
もうわかんねえ。なんでもええんちゃう？どうでもええ。
それな、むずい。
こいつらの中ではヒカルはまだ生きとるんやな。何がその人をその人たらしめるんか。記憶、細胞、経験。
ああ、先生は今の合唱も個性的で好きやけどな。
It's got that charm.
本番までやれるだけ頑張ろう。
Okay, so it's coming up, the big day.
人って何をもって本当に死ぬんやろな。
Getting pretty deep now. Asako. Is that girl? It might be, I'm not sure.
これ洗っといたからありがとう。
え？お前男子に体操着借りとんの？う
っさいな。女子んじゃ小さいの。人から返されたもんすぐ嗅ぐか普通。
めっちゃええ匂いする。いや、
うちママ香りにこだわるタイプやからさ。
I like her, she's fun.
むっちゃええ匂いするけどさ。
Same with the other girl.
なんで男は臭い？
知らん。
今週末このメンツで遊ばん？合唱連の息抜きにさ。
おお、ええやん。旅行とかしてみて。デデニーランドとかさ。
いや、
Disneyland
それは夢見すぎ。誰かの家に泊まるとかが関の山やろ。
やったら俺んち使う？
ええの？急やない？大丈夫？
おう、多分。おかやに言うとくわ。
あざーす。
いい。
したら花火やろうや。見せたるわ、俺の舞を。
ダサそう。私スイカ持ってくわ。
おい、何勝手に決めとんねん。
That was a great
君たちは
scene.
何もないで。
やったらヨシキも一緒にやろうや。インフィニテ
うるさ。
いつしか
I like the lingering on that
ゆかれは
shot as well.
春に。
A little bit of hesitation there as well. And that was good. This is really good stuff already. Hmm.
ごく。
That was cool. Just like a flashback.
Oh.
That was cool. Man, this episode's really good so far, like visually. I mean, they're all good at doing this kind of stuff, but this one feels a little bit different.
何も変わらんな。この帽子どっかで。
Oh, Dad. I assume.
そうか。この祭りはな、もともとあの山の神さんための祭りやねん。やからよしき、あの山には入らんように連れて行かれんで。
おーい、こんなとこおったんか。お、よしき、もろこしうまいか。
よしきー、今日花火もあるらしいで。一緒に見ようや。
トシ、向こうでみんな飲んどるに。お前も行くで。
今行くわ。
父さんとはろくに話してこやんかったけど、こん時のことはやけに覚えとる。あ、そうや、なし鉄。なんやこれ。なんかこぼしてカピカピになっとる。光の字よ。インドの役目。
綺麗やな。
インフィニティ。
無駄に発音ええな。
花火ってすげえ。
This is the first time, like, actually doing this, kind of.
みんなこっち見て。
So nice and easy to just forget, you know?
なあ、お相撲。
落ちた。
え？
ふざけんな。
どえで。
火つけたばっかやったんやけど。
知らんかな。
最後の一本やった
She
んや
knows
け
it.
ど。
あ、はいはい。 俺の使えば。
謝れ。
あ、チャッカメン使わんくなってもうた。これ最後なんよな。山久行ってもらってくるわ。
ヒカル。
お、
私もついてく。
Like something bad's gonna happen.
暑いな。
おー、ついでにアイス買おうや。
うん、
今のうちにちょっとほっとくか。
そうやね。
そういやさ、今年夏の終わりにでけえ花火大会あるらしいで。
らしいな。マキ行くん。
悩み中。
ちょっと2人追いかけてアイスも追加でって言うてくるわ。
うん。
ああ。やっぱ行こうかな、花火大会。
あ、そう。なあ、ヒカルが行方不明になったんってあの山？
うん、そやに。あんまり覚えとらんけど。
そっか。なんかすっかり日常に戻った感あるけどさ、あん時お通夜みたいやったわ、ほんまに。戻ってきてくれてよかった。なんかさ、
She notices something,
意
didn't
味
she?
わからんかったらスルーしてほしいんやけど。あなたは一体誰ですか？
Oh no. Oh, I got chills. He's always been in tune with like this kind of stuff.
ほら、あっこ。なんかガシャンガシャン言うとるの聞こえるやろ？
そっか、朝子は聞こえる子なんやね。
お？
ばあばはな、聞こえやんけどちょっとだけ見える。うちはそういう家系なんや。朝子、死んだ人の世界とばあばたちの世界は重なり合っててすぐそばにあるんよ。死んだ人の魂が向こうの世界に行って、そんでまたこっち世界に戻ってくんねん。輪廻転生って言うんよ。
But it doesn't really matter if ever this is actually true or not. It's just their kind of perspective on life and death, a more positive one. Those kind of apparitions and the things that appear, they do have a more optimistic view of them.
ゆうちゃん。今そっち行くで。
Oh wow.
ええか、朝子。あっちん世界にも怖いんもそうやないんもおる。決して向こうが悪でこちらが善とは限らんのよ。
Yeah, that one tried to help him.
恐ろしいもんやからなるべく関わらんように。
守ってくれようとしたん？
大丈夫、もう勝手に飛び出したらあかんやろ。怪我しとらん？
大丈夫。こけただけや。
よかった。
あっちん世界の人たちは怖いけど、ただ悪いもんばかりではないと思う。
Yeah, I don't think she judged
あ
Hikaru
なたは一体誰ですか？
if he was this way, it seems. But it's with Hikaru,
なんで？
Yeah, he's gonna immediately think it's bad.
なんでバレたなんでバレたお
No.
おい朝子おい大丈夫か
Oh no.
何してバレそうになったからつい
つい何を
思えば赤やな朝子はさすがに
何が
死んでまったら悲しいよな
お前殺そうとこんな人の命やんこんな
命死んどるのと生きとるのでそんなに違う生きとる方が大切な俺には命ないけど死んどるんも生きとるんも俺からしたらさほど変わらん死ぬのはそんな怖いことちゃうよただ形が変わるだけやろ
俺のことは殺したないって嘘か
それはちゃうよお前は
He has a completely different view on these things, so
お前が死んだら一緒にアイス食えんくなるやん
こんなことで
yeah,
こんな
he's
朝子も同じやろ
not able to take it
お前矛
seriously.
盾しとんぞ命が何かもわからんくせに何が特別や近所のばあさん松浦さん殺したんもお前
That was weird.
おゲロ
寝てたなんかゲロ臭あヒカル大丈夫やった
え
あ幽霊に取りつかれとるからはす
I really like her. I'm glad she didn't die. It's really good to have someone else, though. I hope they do kind of just say it.
ヒカルが帰ってきてから時
They,
々
they
さ
admit it, yeah.
声がおかしかったんよ
Oh, wow.
ヤバいんに取りつかれてまったんやって思ってでもそのヤバいやつヨシキを守っとるみたいで、むしろ一緒におった方が安全かもみたいな時もあってんやからもしかしたら話通じるかもって話しかけてみてんヒカルん中のそいつに
セー
頭おかしいやつやんこんなこと言う二人ともごめん忘れて
いや信じるよ
ありがとう
貧血とかやったら怖いし先戻って
It's good that they have someone else. If they admit the whole thing or not, like it's just good to have.
ヨシキ
Yeah.
命って何やろ死んだってこの世から消えるわけはないし形が変わるだけで 魂はなくならん。よしき。
さよならあなたじゃなくたっていいからその手の温度さえ変わらないでさよなら私の頃の黒さも
What a scene,
よ
man.
しきの魂綺麗なんよな。
Wow. Oh, that's so good.
あかん。よしきには死んでほしない。でもなんでやろ、俺が思っとるんか、それともヒカルの記憶の。心がぐちゃぐちゃでまとまらん。
Look at it. Oh, yeah, Yoshiki.
ヒカル、学校行くで。
Man, another just really good episode. I do like how just at the core of the show it is just this romance drama between two lads who argue with each other, quarrel, get in fights, are back and forth with each other, and it's just about them coming to grips with their relationship and what they mean to each other and how far they'd go for each other. I think it's really cool that it's just what the show is. Just kind of dressed up in this horror aesthetic and vibe, and that's not to like put that to the side or act like it doesn't exist, because that part's very important. It's important for what the show's trying to talk about in terms of the homosexual relationships and how the village views that and what it means to the boys, and like how they grapple with those feelings and the feelings of being outcast and all that. That's all very important as well, but it is also just this school drama romance show. It's just really good. It's just got a very strong core to it. I don't know if that makes much sense, but it just has a very strong identity, and it really shines through and comes through here. Like, it's just very confident in itself to tell its story, I feel like, if that makes sense. So yeah, this obviously is not subtle stuff at all, but I do like when stories do the story within a story that represents the characters. It's kind of like that with Bloom Into You, Monster, even like Amigo and like Avamuj can also do that, and Every Starlight. It's not a very subtle way to tell a story, but for me it's always pretty compelling, and it allows for the characters to explore parts of themselves and how they feel about it. It allows the characters to introspect about it, as well as talk to other characters, like this whole scene here where they're talking about it. The episode was called Asako, that is her. And I really like her. I really like how in touch. I just like her personality, the way she's in touch with these things, and how I'll get to that part when we get to it, actually. And there's a couple of these scenes here where Yoshiki, he sees this Hikaru doing normal stuff, and he like hesitates a bit, and he's like questioning, is this normal? And he accepts it, and then we linger on this for a while. It's like, no, this isn't something you should just be accepting and normalizing. And again, it happens here a bit more unsubtle as well, where Hikaru says, it's hot, and he like looks at him like in a questioning way, and he's like, yeah, it's hot. And then the screen just shakes, like with the van shaking. It's really good stuff. Then we get this scene, which doesn't get revisited today, but it's interesting to see where that goes. I like this transition into the room, into the... Very cool. The lighting and the drawings and the ethereal feel to it. It's very cool. It makes it very obvious that it is Yoshiki thinking about the past. Okay, this short flashback, kind of establishing the relationship they had with their parents and the parents' relationship. It seems like they were on good terms, the two dads. That's just it's a very nice expression. It seems like a really healthy relationship the four of them had together. He finds this note about the family and what their like rituals, what they do. He's taking it home. That's the thing, is that Hikaru obviously does these things as the monster, and obviously he hides. There's like levels to the kind of way they're harmful to each other in their relationship. Obviously Hikaru's is a much kind of, it's something you can't really replicate morally in the real world and kind of have a standard for that in the real world, compared to Yoshiki, who is kind of moving behind his back with the other woman and questioning his like entire existence. Rightfully so as well. And now here he's now stealing something from his room without him knowing. Like, Yoshiki has a much more grounded sort of conflict with him compared to Hikaru with Yoshiki, but they get contrast and conflict each other quite well and quite nicely to create a very natural sort of relationship and conflict between each other, which I think is cool. I'm not sure if I'm explaining myself very well, but it's kind of like there is this extremity with Hikaru and his ordeal, and there's this very mundanity with Yoshiki and his sort of conflict, but it sort of balances each other out with the way Yoshiki has to kind of deal with Hikaru being what Hikaru is, and Hikaru having to just settle into normal life and understand how to be human. I think it's quite interesting. And yeah, this whole sequence is just very nice. And like I said, it's very easy to forget the entire deal. And it seems he has been noticing that for a while, that Hikaru is the way he is, and it does kind of set it up here. Hikaru, this red sign, the red mirror, and just the kind of the distortion effect almost, and Hikaru's red shirt. It's like even his red shirt as well. It's like kind of signaling danger, signaling something is bad's going to happen. And I don't know if Yoshiki went out there because he was worried, or whether that was just him genuinely just hoping to get some ice cream. Probably the latter, or a bit of both. And it builds the tension really well here, because you know where she's going to go, and it's a very scary scene because you don't know how Hikaru's going to react to that. And we get this really cool backstory and how their family views these. I don't think they've really been given a name. I guess like spirits. Maybe they have been given a name and I've just glossed over it. And we see the spirit kind of walk past her and towards you, or Yuko, and you immediately think, oh, they're going to do something to her, but no, they're trying to save her. And then it sort of establishes that Asako actually hasn't got an immediately bad kind of disposition of these sort of things. She hasn't got like a prejudice towards them. She just views them as just another part of life. It's just natural to her. And it nicely transitions back into our main scene, where we now understand that Asako doesn't seem to have any malicious intent by calling Hikaru out here, but Hikaru obviously is going to respond badly to that and starts panicking, immediately walks over to her and is about to kill her. That's all he knows. what to do. That's all he knows how. Like he doesn't know any other way to deal with it like that, and that's what he has to learn. And then we also find out that Hikaru doesn't have much concern for life. I mean, that could have very well have been told to us in the first couple of episodes when he kills the old lady. But it's not just about. It's not just like he happily would kill someone, and then it's more that he kills someone, and then they'll turn into this spirit, and like. It's not quite the same as a murderer kind of has has a disregard for life. It's more like a child has a disregard for life. How a child might sort of not understand the brevity of their actions and the consequences of their actions, and like you see maybe children playing with like small animals, and they might be quite rough with them, not realizing they have to be gentle, that kind of thing. It's that sort of disregard for life that Hikaru has. And that whole sort of like childlike aspect to him is something that has been shown to us throughout the show as well. Something that Yoshiki has decided to take responsibility for. And that's partly why I believe he comes back at the end as well. Yeah, it's interesting. Because he views himself as not having a life, but he's here. He's right here, interacting with these people as normal, as they are, blending in with their world, enjoying life while not having a life. But that makes Yoshiki kind of question everything, question all of his intentions, all of his actions. It makes him question Hikaru's entire feelings towards him, like. This scene was creepy though. It's like the monster in Hikaru really showing himself, not physically, but mentally through his kind of view of life. But like I said, I'm really glad that they've kind of not brushed Asako off, and they haven't exactly kind of accepted her into what's going on here. They've just kind of said, yeah, Yoshiki says that he believes her. I kind of want to see more of Hikaru's side, because I don't know, I want to see Hikaru kind of interact with him more, maybe apologise, maybe even admit to it. I just hope she stays alive, essentially, as well. Like she really is looking out for both of them, it seems. And Yoshiki obviously angry and just leaves. And we get this scene. Watch this again. Really beautiful scene. Yeah, it's more about the soul to these beings rather than a physical being. That's why him taking over Hikaru wasn't as much of a big deal to him at the start, I imagine. He sees the light in Yoshiki's eyes, obviously reminiscing on actual Hikaru's feelings, and then now into his feelings, and he visions his soul. And that's sort of this visual is very cool, by the way. And that sort of seeing into someone's soul and saying it's pretty is very much a romantic thing to do. I'm sure Hikaru doesn't realise it in that way, but he feels like he has a duty to protect it. And whether Yoshiki ends up dying physically, as long as the soul is still around, that's what matters. And that sort of differentiation is important, because to Yoshiki, I imagine, like that's not something that is okay at all, understandably so. I love this drawing here with the kind of, there's not the line work is very thin on the outside, it's very ethereal, makes them look very human. It's cool, really cool. At the end, obviously Yoshiki he comes back, and this is what made me think of it as just a sort of grounded romantic drama, is that this is just a kind of little romantic tantrum Yoshiki has, even though it's not me saying tantrum kind of minimalizes the whole deal, because he has a right to be upset, but he's seemingly willing to talk to Hikaru about it. I think he definitely recognizes Hikaru is this childish being who needs someone to guide him, and Hikaru is sort of, Yoshiki is standing up here and taking responsibility for that and saying, yeah, I can't leave this guy on his own. It's very much a codependent relationship, and God, I'm so scared. It's bizarre to me that the manga's still ongoing. I'm wondering at what point in the story could that even be in? Like, what could have even happened between here and then? Like, here and there. Like, I wonder how long it's going to go on like this, with them having their kind of romantic tiffs and them learning to understand each other and depend on each other in a way that isn't as toxic, and how long they just can be like this until the detective comes in, until people start noticing, until it escalates, until Hikaru does something. It's a really, really good show. Like, I'm really enjoying myself. And visually it's spectacular. The sound design, the OST, it's always very, very, very well done. And it's a shame because I don't see too many people talking about it, really. I feel like there's a few reactors on YouTube doing it, which is nice. Boldcasts, your boy Roshi. I think there's another one as well, but that I like watching it. But I feel like in the community that I'm in, like on Twitter, there isn't really many people watching and talking about this show. I know it has a very dedicated fan base, but I think it deserves a lot more attention than it's getting. On the level that something like Takapi, I think, deserves that sort of attention, that sort of love by the community, because I feel like it's saying things much more profoundly and much more interestingly and grounded in a way that compared to what Takapi did. But yeah, anyway, this is about Hikaru. Really good show. Really enjoy myself, and I'll see you guys next week for episode 7, now over halfway. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you later. Bye.